The position of the larynx when singing is hotly debated among singing teachers. The long-standing classical ideal instructs the singer to lower the larynx. The contemporary methodology of speech-level singing, otherwise known as SLS, encourages a laryngeal position that resembles speech patterns, that is, a middle-of-the-road position, while other contemporary singing teachers believe the larynx should be held high. Low, middle, high, confused, who's right? Come on, let's look at this contentious subject and clear the muddy waters a little.
Sound check. Check 1, check 2.
Hey there everyone, my name is Dr. Dan and I'm a contemporary singing voice specialist. Welcome to Voice Essentials, where everyone sings. The topic of laryngeal position sounds like a subject best left to the academics and voice scientists, but it's an important issue for us to discuss because the position of your larynx will significantly affect your pitch accuracy, your voice's stamina, and your vocal resonance. Now, I think many of us fall into the trap of only thinking about the sound that we're making when we sing. But have you ever stopped to think about the passage, the vocal tract, that the sound must travel along before it enters the big bad world? The vocal tract is measured from the glottis, the space between the vocal folds, and extends all the way to the outer edge of your nostrils and lips. The length of the vocal tract is never fixed. Not only can your lips produce different shapes, protruding for some vowels and receding for others, your larynx also has the capacity for movement, both up and down and, yes, side to side. This laryngeal movement, among other things, affects the way your voice sounds and behaves. So let's get practical. In today's video, we're going to acquaint ourselves with your laryngeal movement, and we'll finish with a brief explanation of the optimal position of the larynx for contemporary singing.
Sound check.
Firstly, let's get all touchy-feely. Place your thumb on one side of your larynx, specifically your thyroid cartilage, and then rest your index and middle finger on the other side. Now, swallow. Notice that your larynx moves up as you swallow, returning immediately to its point of origin between your fingers once the swallow is complete. Try it again. Now let's try moving the larynx side to side. I want us to be gentle with this activity. For some, the extrinsic muscles, the muscles surrounding the larynx, may not want to allow a sideways movement. So try lightly moving the structure side to side. And if your larynx does move easily, try swallowing at the same time. You'll notice that the sideways movement is interrupted as the larynx moves up and down. Now let's add some sound to the movements. We'll make it fun and with some role playings. To start, let's pretend you're Willie the Giant from Jack and the Beanstalk. Fee, fi, fo, fum. Notice how the deep voice of our pretend giant causes the larynx to lower somewhat. Fee, fi, fo, fum. This is the position that many classical singers advocate for. Now let's experience the exact opposite with your best Bugs Bunny impersonation. Nyeh, what's up, Doc? Nyeh, what's up, Doc? You should feel your larynx rise in a similar manner to the swallow position. Only this time the larynx is raised and remains high for the duration of the phrase. Now as we continue, don't forget to hit the thumbs up button if you're enjoying the video.
Sound check.
So let's get back to our earlier question. What's the best laryngeal position for contemporary vocals? Well, to answer that question, we need to recognise the pros and cons of all three positions, low, high and middle. The main benefit of the lowered classical position is the lengthening of the vocal tract, which in turn gives the singer access to deeper hues of vocal timbre. The disadvantage of a low larynx, certainly for the contemporary singer, is the continuous activation of the sternohyoid and the sternothyroid muscles, which activate to depress the larynx. This level of muscular tension creates a labour-intensive environment and can lead to wear and tear over time. Now, the benefits of a high larynx are similar to that of a low larynx in that the high larynx creates a shortened vocal tract and implements brighter tonalities. But a larynx that is continually pushed high will also lead to wear and tear because of its tendency to constrict easily. And that leaves us with the position advocated for by many SLS teachers, a position that is continually held in the middle. Now, the benefits of a speech level larynx orientate the singer to a vocal output that is supposedly comfortable and easy, and you might be forgiven for thinking that this is what I encourage my students to produce, a speech level sound. Well, yes and no. I'm far more pragmatic in my teaching than a single methodology like SLS allows for. So what I teach is a combination of all three positions. I refer to the ideal laryngeal position as neutral larynx.
Sound check.
When I use the word neutral, I want you to think about the position of neutral in a manual gearbox. Unlike an automatic gearbox where neutral is a fixed position, with a manual gearbox, neutral is the central point that gives access to all other gear positions. Often the neutral position will have a little bit of play in it also, and that's what I'm looking for in my singer's laryngeal positions. The reality is, at times your larynx does need to move downwards for certain notes and colours. Equally, there are times that the larynx will need to travel high in the neck for high intensity vocals such as belt, but the larynx should always return to a central position. Another way to think about a neutral larynx position is picture a buoy in the sea. The B-U-O-Y buoy moves up and down with the swell of the ocean, but it never rides high and stays high. That's a good illustration of your laryngeal position. Your larynx should follow the swell of the phrase, sometimes riding high and sometimes dipping low, but always returning to a neutral position that is free from muscular tension. Now, let me give you one final practical exercise designed to reduce muscular tension around and inside your larynx, helping you to achieve a neutral position. Placing your thumb and fingers either side of your larynx like before, pretend you're smiling at the back of your throat. And when you've got that position in place, add a gentle sigh in the middle of your range. Ah. Ah. You should notice that your larynx moves towards a central position that is neither high nor low. If you're unsure about the position, swallow a few times, take note of where the larynx comes to rest, and then try the sigh again. Ah. Ah. As always, I'll be keen to hear about your experiences with the activities I've included in today's tutorial, as well as your experience with other instruction. Leave a comment below so that we can all gain from your knowledge. And if this is your first time watching a Voice Essentials video, welcome. Please take a moment to check out my channel. I'd love for you to subscribe and join our ever-growing community of singers from across the globe who, just like you, want to raise their voice in song. I'll catch you again soon. I'm Dr. Dan. Sing well.